321, hello and welcome to YQL Real Talk, and this is your monthly news and real estate digest so you can keep up to date with our local real estate and economy. Your hosts, like always, are Kurtis Hawkins and Brett Gurr from the Real Estate One team at Real Broker. Today, we're going to go over the probabilities of interest rate cuts this year, the new NMAX Arena name, and AI garbage in Lethbridge. That's right. AI garbage in Lethbridge.
I guess.
So let's start off with that one.
Okay.
The city of Lethbridge just put out a news article this month that said that the City and Waste Environment Department has launched a pilot program using artificial intelligence technology to keep residential waste streams cleaner and increased cost savings. So basically what they're doing is putting cameras on the garbage trucks. So when they come and pick up your bin in front of your house and they dump the garbage in,
Right.
it looks to see what's been dumped into your garbage, and they'll send you a nice letter telling you that you put the wrong thing in your garbage,
Right.
or recycling or organics or whatever.
Okay. A nice letter, huh?
Yeah. They're
So
saying,
much for putting rocks in my recycling bin then.
I don't know. To me, it seems like, it's
Yeah.
going to start with a letter until, well, now we're going to start to charge you.
Yeah.
if-
Well, and I suppose playing the devil's advocate, when they first started doing the recycling thing, there were people that were putting jugs of oil in there.
Sure,
And
and
when
I guess-
that stuff goes right into the machinery, it makes a mess.
For sure. I could
So,
see if something was like, in an extreme case,
for sure.
maybe you deserve a fine for
I definitely
dumping
think
motor
if
oil
you're
in the
putting a
garbage.
jug of used motor oil in the recycling bin,
Sure.
that guy definitely deserves it. For
I guess
sure.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
but
true.
Still, it's like, let's,
It's
Get
going to be
over
a
it.
cash grab of some sort, right? Most likely.
for now, it's
It'll-
just a letter, but to me, it's like, where is this going to end?
Letters cost money.
Right?
Letters cost money. So either way,
But to me, it's like, there's how much can we do with AI? And that's what we're starting with is garbage. Like what you could increase efficiency all over the city with AI.
there could be tons of efficiency that's been increased through, different projects of different kinds and things like that. So I guess you got to start somewhere with it, but
I just think
I think that's a
ridiculous.
little foolish too.
If you want my take,
to
it's
start
ridiculous.
there. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, interest rates just dropped.
Yeah, a lot of
significantly.
optimism in the marketplace with interest rates dropping. So
Finally, the bond market is catching up with the U.S., it seems like. So there's always been there's a graph that I saw somewhere that the interest rate, the 10-year bond yield rate is supposed to be above the 5-year. And for a long time, it's been inverted. And now it just inverted back.
Oh, okay.
And literally every time when that's happened, though, there's been a recession.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably why interest rates are dropping, because they're
Right.
like, oh, what did we do? Now we've curbed inflation, but now we're in a recession.
Okay.
We're not
Yeah, here
technically
it
in a
comes.
recession yet.
Right. Well, and again, we also have to lump in Canada as a whole, right? Canada as a whole, perhaps there might be a recession coming. Alberta seems to be in that bubble right now where we're seeing growth. So yeah, perhaps Canada as a whole, maybe there is a recession coming. Alberta, I'd be shocked to see it because we just seem to be booming.
I've done a bunch of talking head YouTube videos, and in all of them, we had some of the lowest unemployment rate in Canada.
exactly.
Typically Alberta does, but
Yeah.
ours are even lower than everywhere else still. So that's good.
Exactly. Lethbridge always has a really low unemployment rate, things like that as well. So, so yeah, true.
But good news is interest rates are going to come down, and they're saying that in October and November, they were expecting to see 2 more rate cuts, but now they're thinking even October and November.
Right.
So even quicker than that, we could see even more come down too. So
Yeah, exactly.
if you're one of those people that's been waiting for the interest rates to drop, keep waiting.
There you go. It does seem to be happening. So
Realtor's
we'll see.
number one pet peeve.
Yeah.
And it's not because we want you to buy a house right away. It's because if you keep waiting, the prices just keep going up. So
Exactly. Yeah, we definitely do see an influx in home sale price when that happens because more people jump into the marketplace, right?
yeah.
So
And I think waiting for anything in real estate is probably one of the worst things you can do. And even my wife and I were we've never bought our dream home. We've always bought whatever is the most frugal, the most cash flow
sensitive, just modest living overall.
Basically, like we've never like come anywhere close to overextending ourselves. This was like our first detached home that this isn't even detached, it's a townhome. Yeah. This is the first house that we bought that we didn't have a renter in the basement. Like we've always had a renter, either upstairs or downstairs. Right. And we're like, okay, we've put off buying our dream home because we've just been like upgrading our homes as we go and keeping rentals and stuff, which is a good way to do it. But how much money have we lost not buying our dream home? Like if at the time, 5 years ago, if we went and like overextended ourselves buying a $500,000 dream house, now that dream house would be $700,000 or $800,000. So just lost $300,000 waiting.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I basically bought my dream home 4 years ago. Or no, it was more than that. It was, so I've been out of that one. It was about 9 years ago. We bought our dream home, brand new build, beautiful triple car garage, Coulee View, 2,300 square foot, 2-story, big, beautiful home. Bought it for $465, sold it not shortly, 5 years after that for $465. And that home just came up on the market right now for $620, you know? So it's like, and I always said to myself, I'm like, yeah, that one would be worth well over 600 today. And sure enough, and I never did check in to see if that actually sold or what it sold for, but
yeah, it's a weird thing. It's like, you don't want to overextend yourself, but at the same time, if I'm going to buy that house in 10 years down the road, is it cheaper for me to do it now?
Yeah, it's the last time, even during the 07, 08 housing crash, was really the only time you really saw a lot of people upside down. And in 5 years, it kind of leveled out, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, if we're going to keep it long term for sure.
Exactly. It just means that 2 years later, if you want to sell it, maybe you're probably upside down, but in the grand scheme of it, keep it for another 2 or 3 years, and it'll come back around, right? So yeah, even in Tarot, and that was an epic crash that we had never seen that before, right? In the housing market.
So there would have been
is that going to happen again? Probably not.
In this span of time, there was probably only about this much time where that could happen to you. For the most part, you're going to be fine.
Absolutely. Okay. Any more articles?
Yeah. Finally, the new NMAX Center, or not the new NMAX Center. The NMAX Center got a new name.
Right.
And the new name is visitlethbridge.com Arena. Just rolls off the tongue.
And people are up in arms about it.
Yeah. Everybody on Facebook is saying, I can't believe they voted for this. And I think people need to understand it's not voted. It's whoever pays to be the title sponsor gets their name.
Exactly.
So they're the ones that stepped up.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the Real Estate One Arena would have sounded real good.
We were talking about that this morning.
Leave a comment
think the
if
Real
you agree.
Estate One Arena sounds amazing. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes next year. It's a
5-year contract. So
right,
we'll have to put our names in or something.
Yeah, we do sponsorship through the NMAX Center. We do the noise meters. So we'll see. Maybe we can build up to that. But I agree. The Real Estate One Arena.
It's only a little bit more than the noise meter.
Slightly. Yeah, slightly. We'll see.
10 times the cost.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some more door knocking before that.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So yeah, that's been in the news a little bit, and people seem to be up in arms about it. But
But just know that it's not, nobody picked this name. It's whoever pays to be the sponsor.
It wasn't like they had 3 or 4 options and they were like, this is the best option at visitlethbridge.com. Obviously, it's a sponsorship, right? Yep. So, okay.
Let's get into some numbers.
Sounds good. So let's do the numbers here. We've got homes sold July was 201. This time last year was 196, and the yearly average is 155. So we're staying
pretty consistent, Lethbridge.
Yeah, we are staying pretty consistent with that. Average days on market. This one was a big one, which I kind of suspected that would have happened. We saw a significant drop. I believe last month it was 42, and we dropped down to 39 this in July. So. And the year before that was 51, and the year average is 52. So that's a pretty significant drop, which I did expect, because last month and June was kind of goofy and kind of crazy for.
Yeah, I think out of I can't remember how many listings I had last month. It was crazy. It seems like all I was doing, but I remember 2 of them specifically were like same day on market, multiple offers, significantly over ask. Like,
crazy. Exactly. Absolutely. No. And I was the same. A lot of my listings as well too, where you were typically finding people prior to it even going on the market. And, you know, you have to have that conversation with your client. Well, we could take this. It's a great deal, bird in the hand, or we can go onto the market. Could get crazy, see what's going to happen, and then, you know, leave it in their hands. What do they want to do? So,
yeah. And it's not like, I think a lot of people think that everyone's pricing real estate to get multiple offers.
Yeah.
And like the listings that I had was like over what the stats told us we should list at. We went a smidge higher because the market is crazy, and we still got multiple offers. So that's crazy.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, and even I was saying to my clients as well, you know, if we do go onto the market, it could get wild. We could see $20,000 over asking. So, you know, you gotta weigh the options and see if you just want to do it. But sometimes there's a special point, a convenience of getting the money that you want out of it, as well as helping somebody get into a home for the buyer standpoint that doesn't have to go into the crazy marketplace, right? And deal with 17 different offers. But so that's on the seller. That's on the seller. It's up to us to advise them. But either way, so active homes on market boiled down to 395 for the month of July. Last year saw 464, and year average last year was 426. And so
even freaking lower.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Which sparks, that's what sparks the multiple offers, higher prices is nobody wants to freaking sell yet. But I think, and I've said this before, we think we kind of saw it earlier that interest rates dropped a bit, and then we saw a little bit more listings. So I think as interest rates start to drop, to me, the reason why nobody wants to sell is because everyone's locked in at a cheap interest rate.
Definitely.
So they don't want to sell unless their mortgage is coming up or unless they have to move. But now that interest rates are coming down, more people will want to like upgrade or move around or something like that. So
yeah, I certainly think we're going to see a lot more of that.
I honestly think that the lower interest rates might even help our market, which is weird because usually it makes it more buyers jump in. But because we have seen so low listings, I think we might actually see more.
Yeah, I think you will see more people willing to do a switch, do a downgrade, do an upgrade. And it is a great time to do an upgrade right now because your $300,000 home or $350,000 home is going so fast.
Yeah, that's the hot price range.
The $700,000 homes they're not as hot, obviously, for
it's double the average price.
Exactly,
so right?
So yeah, you've got bargaining ability when you're looking at a $700,000 home, but in that 350 range, it's gonna go quick, right?
Well, just as of right now, the total active without an offer is 284, which is better than what we've seen. Like in the winter, we were down to like 230 or something.
Right.
So
okay.
Slightly better, but.
Okay. And the big statistic that everybody likes to see, average home price. So last month we hit an all-time record of 402. Like we cracked 400,000, which for Lethbridge is insane.
For sure. And I was hoping this month it would come down pretty dramatically.
And well, we kind of, because of course you're looking at it and you're like, well, there had to have been some big ones sold. That's why we hit 402. But overall, we looked for those big ones and it was a good average. You know, there weren't any big significant factors to it. It just boiled down to low inventory and
we do see like month to month some big changes. So it usually averages out. So that's why this month I was like, it's got to come down, right?
Exactly.
And
this year or this month, we saw 393,391. So it did come down
a little bit,
but not much. Last year,
328,
376.
Like,
and the yearly average is 343. So
that's like 70,000 difference in a year.
That's massive.
That's huge.
That is massive. So it just kind of gives you an idea of what we're seeing in our Alberta marketplace. People are flooding here. People have been flooding here. And now word is getting out that people also are, hey, cheap living, come live in Lethbridge. So it's definitely adding to that.
Yeah. So that's a 17% increase year over year.
Crazy. Wild.
That's enough.
Yeah. I'd say time to cool it just a little bit. But then again, we just don't see these numbers. Everybody else, Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, these percentage increases are completely normal for them.
As
it's
of
just
COVID, yeah.
Well, for sure. Well, and even throughout other time frames, 06, 07, in housing prices went crazy in those areas. Lethbridge just typically doesn't see these kind of boosts.
No,
although
and I know that like BC, Ontario, they are softening quite a bit. Like, I just had people who their listings coming up probably tomorrow, I think.
right,
Moved to Lethbridge, I think 2 years ago. Now he got another job back in BC, so they have to move back, and they're like, man, it's kind of perfect. Like market's hot here and it's starting to soften out there, so they can actually go back and maybe make it work.
definitely, absolutely. Yeah, and that being said, like we did see that boom in Lethbridge here in 07, 06.
It just shows the difference now between that Lethbridge or Alberta is like really leading Canada probably in terms of housing prices, and everywhere is starting to soften again because they got so crazy. So
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and another statistic we love looking at is the average list to sale percentage as well. So what the home is listed at, what you're able to purchase that home for. July saw a 98.7% of that listing price. People were buying them for 98.2 for the previous year, and the last year average was 97.4. So not a lot of great deals to be had out there.
so I just had, if I give you, it's going to relate to this in a second, but give me the top three top three, maybe most luxurious neighborhoods in Lethbridge.
Okay, sure. Sandstone.
Okay.
Arbor Ridge. Oh, too
under,
high?
under $1 million.
Oh, okay.
Like if you're looking for a home under $1 million.
Fairmont, 6 Mile.
Okay.
6 Mile for sure. The Canyon or the Canyons.
Canyons.
Yeah.
That's one I was looking for.
Okay.
So in the Canyons, you might, like if you're looking under $1 million, you want, a little bit bigger space, quieter, nicer home, definitely above the average price, still under $1 million. There are some homes over $1 million out there, but the majority of them are under $1 million.
Okay.
Average list to sale price in the Canyons is like 96.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So for it being so luxurious, I would say, or like more unique, I've found out there that you got to reduce quite a bit in order to get something sold, because I did have a listing out there and I was looking through everything that is sold and like multiple price reductions to end up selling in the Canyons.
No kidding. Hey, and I would certainly assume that people are pricing realistically out there. I would certainly assume that people aren't reaching for the sky on their properties.
Not when you look at when you look at the averages and they're all having to reduce in order to get something sold. It's like, how come no one wants to be in the Canyons?
Yeah,
it is kind of far out of the way, I guess, but that's either a pro or a con.
It is for sure. It is definitely a ways out of the way. In fact, one time I was over in not quite in the Canyons area, but in the Sundance area, I believe it is, and we were going to the brew house, and I think it took 25 minutes to
I know, you may as well live in the brew house. You may as well live in Nobleford.
Yeah, it was like, holy cow, are we there yet? And we're still driving, So it is a little ways out there, but again, like you said, some people love that, some people hate it.
Yeah.
So
I just thought that was interesting. I've never seen put that stat together before. So
yeah, exactly. Great golf course out there, but yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Hot or not with the market?
Right.
Out of 10, go.
Okay. From a listing standpoint, I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with 8.5 from a listing standpoint, because things have kind of cooled a little bit as far as that goes in my mind in the higher end price range. Buyer standpoint, definitely, I think it's 7.5. Because, things have cooled a little bit as well. There's not as much competition depending on, again, of course, price range dictates all, right? So
it'll be interesting to see what happens this month. I'm going to give it like a 7 overall.
Yeah. Okay.
For both, a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
Just because July, I think, was the peak of everything. And then August, kids are starting to go back to school. Weather's going to start to change, unfortunately, probably not till October, but with everything going back to school, it just slows everything down. So I think the peak of everything, the craziness is over, and it's going to start to chill a little bit.
I think we typically do see a spark in that September.
Yeah.
In years past.
Well, that first week of September, I feel like is ghost town.
Oh, really?
With
Oh,
back to
really?
school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've kind of been, I don't know, I've kind of noticed the opposite,
I
think.
hope so, because I want to go on a vacation.
Right. Hey? Yeah. What's that? Hey? So, yeah, I think typically September does have a tendency to pick up a little bit statistically from what I can see. But then again, that just might be my personal opinion on it. But who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what the numbers hold.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sellers, I think if you're over that 500 plus price point, you're still good, but it's not going to sell in a day.
Right.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So you got to be patient with it.
Yeah, I got a couple of listings over that 500,000 range,
but if you're
honestly, we've kind of seen crickets a little bit. But it's July. It's that family, or well, it's August now. But it's that family home, and everybody's on vacation right now. People are not looking. The $300,000 house is still going quick.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Time of the year,
if you're in the $300,000 price range. And get your home listed if you're thinking of selling, because who knows how long this will go for. But it's like hot right now in that market.
But come mid-August, typically that market will start to peak again, because once everybody gets back from vacation, once everybody kind of starts doing their back to school stuff, that's when people start shopping, and people want to get into places before December. So if you want to be in a place before September, you are buying it or before December, sorry, you are buying it in September, and you are moving in October, November, right?
I don't know why I think September is always a little bit slower, but I do find that I have a lot of closings in December too.
Right. So. Yeah. No, which
would make sense that they got you got deals done in September, and then they move in right before Christmas.
Yeah. Typically September for me is always pretty busy. It's always like almost like crazy busy, because I always try to sneak away on a golf trip in September and jumping out of a hot tub, writing an offer, and go, so I can't complain. No. It's a pretty awesome way to be able to do some work, but at the same point in time, you try to get away for a couple of days, and it's tough. Right?
We haven't done anything. We went to Whitefish on the weekend for a concert, but other than that, this whole summer I've just been like nose to the grindstone.
Yeah.
I had to get away. I was just burnt out and starting to hate everything I was doing. So it was good. I feel a lot better.
Yeah. Good for you.
But I'm looking forward to some sort of vacation in the fall here. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Make it happen.
Yep.
That's when you'll get busy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well.
Anyway,
the rest of the team can back you up if that happens. So
yeah, everyone's rolling too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, everybody on our team is doing absolutely incredible. Murray Wall is absolutely on fire. Ty Gibson is absolutely on fire.
We got to get Ty on a podcast too. So
yeah. Apparently we were hanging out the other night, and Ty hasn't done a podcast yet. So he was worried about, we need a bleep button for, and I'm like, I put my foot in my mouth all the time, Ty. You're good.
Yeah,
you're good.
100%.
We can edit that out. Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys like this podcast and want to see more, you want to see monthly market updates like this one, you want to see home tours, or you want to see more videos about Lethbridge, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Okay.
Goodbye.